Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today I got another collab for you and another challenge, which is funny because I just uploaded another cast challenge yesterday. I'll put an end card to that if you want to check that out after this video. But yeah, today I got a build challenge that I think that GroovySimmer, a friend of mine, I'm gonna put his link in the description and a link to his video that he did on this challenge as well, so you can go check that out please, because he's a really good builder. Like every time he builds something I'm like, oh my god, this is so cute. And he's really good at modern builds as well, which is great because, as you know, I'm obsessed with modern builds. But anyways, today we have this challenge that I believe he came up with, or us together. I honestly forgot who came up with it, but it must have been one of us. So yeah, it's basically a challenge where you build a tiny house that can only be 7 by 7 or 49 squares big if you don't want to make it a perfect square like I did. I think mine turned out 47 or 46 squares wide, because in the end I ended up extending that little bit on the right because it was just too small. I don't know, it was not too small, but it made for a better design, I guess, when I did that, because then the doors on the inside were in super weird and in super weird places. But anyways, the challenge is that you build a tiny house, like I said. The max that you can have it at is 49 squares, and you have to try to get every pack in the house. So you have to try to use one object of each of the packs you own. Now I own all of the packs, but you don't have to do this challenge. You can just, like, however many you own, you have to make sure to use at least one object of them inside the house. Now I know that Luke as well, we struggle a little bit with some packs. We didn't manage to put them inside, so it's alright to, you know, use a few items on the outside of the house. There's no restriction as of how big that can be, like you can just go wild with that, but you should try and aim to get most of the packs inside, I'd say, because otherwise it's not really a challenge if you can just use all the stuff on the outside, you know. For me it was Romantic Garden, the stuff pack, because I'm curious to see what Luke did, because I feel like he said he used it on inside, but I'm not sure now. Because if he did, I'd be curious to see what he used inside, because I just couldn't. I looked at all the objects and I was like, I don't know what to do. But anyway, so that's the main rules. And then if you don't have all of the pack, you could always think of ways to make it a little bit harder, maybe by making the house a bit smaller or using 2 or 3 objects of each pack, you know, depending on how many packs you have. But it was really cute, and we called this challenge the Stuffed Tiny House challenge, which is kind of cute. I mean, Luke and I, we both realized that we're not the best at coming up with names, so that's what it is. And I'm gonna put all the rules and how you can link the things or inform us about you uploading, because we'd both love to see what you come up with and the tiny houses that you build with all of the packs. Because honestly, for me, I was like, oh, this isn't hard, like I'll make it work. But then I moved inside and I was like, oh my god, there's so many packs where I literally dislike every single object, especially the spooky stuff pack. I had no idea, and I didn't cheat, but I kind of just used that. There's a candy bowl that you can get, I think it's for trick-or-treating, but I just put that in the kitchen because I was like, you know what, that's the only object I can stand from this pack. I don't want to use anything else. I tried to use the wallpaper on the outside of the house, but I just couldn't. I just hate it so much. So yeah, let me know if you're a big fan of the spooky stuff pack, because then you need to unsubscribe. I'm kidding. Please don't unsubscribe. But anyways, I really dislike that pack. It's just, there's no good objects in it, so I just had to use that candy bowl. I don't think it's cheating, because I mean, I used an object from the pack, right? And yeah, I feel like I made it quite quirky just because there were so many different objects and styles I had to play around with, that I thought the person that lives here probably got a lot of their stuff from flea markets. You know, I don't think they have a lot of money, but they make do with what they have, and I think the house turned out really cute. Like, it's very cluttered, there's a lot of different colors and like styles, like I said, and I don't know, it's just really cute. Like the kitchen alone, I really love that it forced me to use different type of chairs and stuff, because I was like, that's a great way to include a lot of packs without, you know, trying to put even more objects in. And then in the kitchen and the bathroom, I thought I would only use that little towel rack from the vampire gameplay pack because it's not a bad pack, but I personally don't like the objects that came with it too much. I mean, I never used them because I never built any spooky or scary builds, so they're kind of useless to me, but I ended up also using the countess because I was like, maybe just using the towel rack is a little bit of a cheat, you know, it's such a tiny object and it's not really, you can't really tell it's there kind of thing. And I also, you saw me building the bathroom, which is something you rarely see, I think, because I usually cut them out with bigger builds because it's just something I can cut out that it's very repetitive, I guess, because most of my bathrooms look the same. Most of them are the same size as well, like the 2x3. So it's just, I usually do them the same way. But in this one, I was like, it's a tiny build, so I may as well include it because, I mean, it's not a long video, you know, and maybe someone wants to see me do the bathroom. Also, in this one, I feel like the bathroom is a little bit different because I use those jungle adventure tiles and stuff, so I guess it is a little bit different to my usual bathrooms. It's definitely more out there because I feel like the whole house is very quirky and stuff. And you see me do the dresser in the bedroom right now. That is not functional, but I believe, because I playtested this house, I believe that's the only part of the house that is not functional. But you can use the mirror that I'm gonna put in the room later, so you can change your outfit there, or you can change it in the bathroom. So I guess it doesn't really matter if it's usable or not, because you don't need it to change your outfit, you know, you can always use the mirrors or use a cheat or whatever you want. So I thought it wasn't that big of a deal, and I still wanted to put one in so it just looks a bit more complete. I guess a room without a dresser is just a bit weird because where would they put their stuff? So yeah, and then we're moving to the outside in a little bit, and I really like what I did. I mean, I cut out a lot of the fencing because if you ever built with terrain tools, you'll know that it always messes up if you want to try and fence stuff, so I was just smoothing out the terrain and stuff to make it look nicer. But I really wanted to use terrain tools again in this because I rarely use them. Like, I don't use them enough. So I just put this little house on a hill because I was like, you know what, that's kind of cute, you know. So I did that, and then I did a lot of landscaping. I changed out the flowers later on because I changed a lot of them to the romantic garden flowers, which I adore. Like, they're some of my favorite landscaping things in The Sims 4, but a lot of times when I build things, I think of ways to not include packs that probably not a lot of people have, because I feel like the expansion packs are the things most people would buy, you know. I think they would invest in that, or at least that's what I hear most of the time. So I try to not use as many stuff packs recently. It's very hard because I don't know, if you have all of the objects, you kind of just want to use all of them, I guess. So if I build for my personal gameplay, I almost all of the objects are included in some way, except for like vampire stuff and the spooky stuff. And I think the vintage glamour is something I use very rarely. I remember when it came out, I was super hyped because I really love the beds and stuff that came with it, and the little bedside tables. I think there were some that came with it, right? Yeah, like the round ones with the glass. They all look really, really nice for like modern builds, but I rarely use them anymore because I honestly just prefer other objects. So oopsie, I don't use that anymore that often. But it was really cool in this challenge. It really makes you try new things and use different objects, and I realized which objects came from what pack, you know. And I feel like I use dine out in almost all of my builds because of the little lights, like the little tea lights in that little jar that you can put on the tables, because I think that's just so cute. And then on the outside we make this little, it's not really a gazebo, I mean it's like a seating area that's, I didn't fence it in. I put these things from, where are they from? Are they from the fitness stuff pack? I honestly have no idea. But I put all of those, and then I used the island living plants to put them up there, and it was really cute. Like, I wish I had something like that. I mean, I live in an apartment, so I don't really have a backyard. I mean, we do have one, but it's not the nicest, and there's a lot of other people sitting there, and I don't know a lot of people from my apartment, so I don't really want to see them. If you know me, I'm an introvert, so new people are kind of like, I'd rather be by myself. So yeah, that's always fun. But I'd be super excited if you guys tried out this challenge, and if you let me know how you enjoyed this build and if you think it's a cool idea, because I definitely think it makes you try new things, like I said a million times already, but I'm just gonna point it out once more. Also, please don't forget to check out Luke's stuff, because I already know that his tiny build will be so cute. I haven't seen it yet, which is exciting, but yeah, I'm just super hyped to see it. So I hope you check that out. Don't forget, I'll leave that in the description. I'll also leave the rules to everything in the description. So if you want to try this out, I'd be super excited to watch it. Like, I love speed builds and especially tiny homes. They're just, there's just something so cute about them, isn't there? But anyways, if you enjoyed this video, as always, don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And I'll see you in Monday's video for another Create a Sim. Bye!